What's up folks, Jack here. So the plan initially today was for me to get into the Bearverse, which is essentially just Roland Emmerich, just much more violent, much more sexy.
Concubine, man, let her hitchhike.
She lives 10 miles from here, okay? It's my only chance. You gotta be understanding here, alright?
Alright, we'll put her in the back, I'll be quiet.
Did you say put her in the back?
Well, it gets a little bit disturbing, but centered around children's toys because of Transformers. But no, that's not what we're going to be doing today. Today we're tackling an age-old franchise, or at least I thought was not a franchise before I actually had to look up the date of the release of Sharknado just before switching up the camera here, and found out there were more of them. I thought there was only one movie. What the hell? Oh, apparently there's more, and we're about to get into a rather long video on the absurdity that is a shark tornado. I guess more of them. It became a freaking weather phenomenon. Okay, anyways, let's hear what Cody has to say about this.
Crazy weather we're having. Sharks. Tornadoes. Two things that, if you didn't know, often don't pair together. But one day somebody had the brilliant idea that maybe they should be. And that's how we got Sharknado, a sci-fi original movie about the goofiest disaster ever, made with the budget of a Nostalgia Critic skit. When this movie released, it took the world by storm. Everyone had a good laugh at the concept, a hearty chuckle at the bad acting.
Go away! Take your little stupid friend and bad leave!
The amateur filmmaking, and terrible special effects. Everyone laughed from their high horses, and then collectively, as a society, we moved on. Wait, they made how many sequels? Hi. Shark Week ended a bit ago, and I've been learning all about our cuddly cartilage friends. I even had one of those Sonic Shark slushies, because I'm a brainless consumer. After those 7 days of nautical nonsense came to an end, I still wasn't satisfied. I wanted more Shark Week, but Discovery was too busy doing more important things, like suffocating HBO Max with a pillow. I needed more Shark content, and like a junkie pulling tricks in an alley, I did something desperate to get my fix. I remembered that Sharknado existed. You see, I've never seen the Sharknado series before. I saw the first movie once when it came out, thought it was funny, and then never saw another one again.
A few frames back.
NATO existed. You see,
Wait a minute. They made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. And I was thinking before, like Ian Shriver. Right? That's his name? Hold on. Sharknado. Ian Ziering. Why do I remember him as Shriver? Jesus, he is in all of them, because I thought that he has fallen off from TV. The last thing that I remember him starring in was Beverly Hills, and that's like old. Steve Sanders. The guy's what? He's 60? Dude doesn't look 60 years old. Well, good job, Steve. I mean, Ian. So, like, essentially, he's just the Anna Faris of the Sharknado movies. Anna Faris from the scary movies, for those of you who remember those.
I've never seen the Sharknado series before. I saw the first movie once when it came out, thought it was funny, and then never saw another one again. Until now. Because although I stopped paying attention, they apparently made a sequel, and then another, and another, totaling to a final number of 6 movies, all about sharks getting tossed around by twisters. So of course I had to watch every one of them and talk about them in a single video. Why? Because I thought it'd be funny. The movie that started it all. The new hope, if you will, to the Sharknado saga. And I can truly say that it is Sharknado. Our tale begins on a ship. This is Captain Carlos Santiago. He's smuggling shark fins to this guy. And man, isn't it tense.
1 million for the entire take.
Suddenly, sharks start raining from the sky. I'm guessing this commotion was enough to have this guy call off the deal, because he suddenly starts shooting at Santiago, even though they're in a storm. Now, I'm no sailor, but in my amateur opinion, probably not the best idea to shoot the captain if you don't know how to sail a boat. It's not like any of this matters because he's gobbled up anyway. In fact, everyone dies, even Captain Santiago. So, like, what was the point of this then? It has nothing to do with the rest of the movie outside of the sharks.
I do believe we have a deal.
Why was the scene so tense? Who was this guy working for? I have absolutely no clue. None of this is ever brought up again. It's a sunny day in LA, and we finally meet our main characters.
I think that the typical thing with a lot of these, like, what do you even call this? The F-list movies is usually that there's a script that they started with. Everybody started chiming in to what could we possibly do? What do we have a budget for? What is going to get caught? Cody's mom called. She said that we need to be done by 6 or else she ain't cooking for us. Okay, fine. Suddenly the movie gets caught and all of the points that they were trying to make is just obsolete.
This is Finn. Yes, that's his name. He's a surfer and bar owner. Nova is a waitress who has a mysterious scar. I wonder what ever could have caused that. A crocodile? A jellyfish? And to top off this cast, we have John Hurd, who you might remember as the dad from Home Alone. His name is George. George's only character trait is that he's a drunk and always perving on Nova.
Yeah,
Beautiful Nova there, whom I plan to marry soon.
Yeah, he dies. I remember that.
Classic George. I hate George. I'm glad he dies. It's kind of a weird recurring theme how all 3 of these older men clearly want to bang this girl. Anyway, back to the funny sharks. A hurricane is coming to the LA coast, and nobody is really worried. Like everyone is just enjoying the beach on this very clearly sunny California day. Turns out the hurricane pushed all of the sharks towards the coast. Despite standing in like 6 inches of water, this guy just gets devoured by a great white. And then another. Dear God, it's just absolute carnage. So this is our first introduction to how sharks work in the world of Sharknado. Most shark attacks are because they think people are just seals. Even by watching Shark Week, you can see these sharks have no interest in divers.
And if you've watched our recent reaction to the Casual Geographic videos, we know how dirty sharks were made out to be. Like, they literally don't care about us. Literally just like piranhas. They don't do that. They don't want us.
It's the easiest meal in the world, and they just don't care. But in Sharknado, they have nothing but malicious intent. If you are even close to a body of water, if you have a single splash of H2O on you, a shark will find you and end you. Except for when Finn is involved. The shark is right there, just doesn't do anything. After that horrific carnage, the gang goes back to the bar. It's all fine and dandy. They're casually hanging out, until somebody realizes, oh yeah, a hurricane is coming.
Yeah, right.
It was so sunny in the establishing shot. How did it come to this? The funny thing about hurricanes is that you usually get, like, a warning when they're coming.
Yeah.
They don't just pop out as a
Sneak up on
surprise,
you.
but they do here. Storms will just appear and disappear at random, even between shots. Most of the time, you can't tell there's a storm at all, because they very clearly film this during the sunniest day possible. My only explanation for any of this is that just like the sharks, the weather only exists to kill you. The bar is destroyed, and our heroes make it their mission to go save Finn's ex-wife, who, despite knowing there is a hurricane coming and that many people have already died, just kind of shrugs it off.
What are you talking about? We're 100 miles from the ocean.
You're exactly 6.6 miles from the ocean.
Brain stopped functioning. I remember there is this famous line that stuck with me for some years after hearing that. Isn't like something that was meant to be mocking Californians. Like, oh, Californian always afraid of a little bit of water or something like that. Man, this movie was insane.
Like, it's okay. They're fine. I mean, she's probably right. In the aftermath, there's not a single storm in sight. Hey look, traffic wasn't even affected. This is how things are for most of the movie. It's treated like this is some apocalyptic event, but of course they don't have the budget to do that, so the background is just a normal Tuesday afternoon.
Mom always told me Hollywood would kill me.
Most of the film is our gang running into a group of people, those people getting horrifically killed in some way, more often than not, due to a shark. Out of all of these, my favorite interaction is when they go by these cars that are stopped in a tunnel for absolutely no reason.
Get back in your car. It's not safe out here.
It's just a little water. Typical Californians
afraid of the rain?
Like, yeah,
That's
stupid Californians complaining about a little
That's the
water,
quote.
not unlike me, who sees thousands daily claimed by the Hudson River. After finally reaching his ex-wife April's house, Finn runs into her boyfriend, who starts off as an asshole, but over time I'm sure they'll band together for the sake of the group. Oh wait, he dies immediately?
Shark!
Oh, okay, that's cool too. I don't know why, but I expected him to be a bigger character for some reason.
Every time it rains in LA, everyone swears it's the storm of the century. And even if it is, Beverly Hills emergency services are second to none.
But maybe he
He says that to the guy who was starred on Beverly Hills. That's the face of somebody who remembers his whole entire career.
was just too dumb to stay alive. Many characters, in fact, just die. So many are built up and then just get ate by a shark. It starts feeling like Game of Thrones. Nobody's safe. Not even George R.R. Martin. Oh wait, that's later. At any moment, a shark can just fall from the sky. And that's it. Sorry, buddy. I should wrap this up. We got like 5 more of these. The
Game of
hurricane
Sharks.
starts spawning multiple Sharknadoes. This image really doesn't get old. This image gets incredibly old. There's so much going on, from the shoddy effects to nothing else getting blown over. All there is flying in the sky is sharks. Just sharks. And by my calculations, I'd say a few of these are 4 stories tall. With the gang all together
I
and united...
know! Oh my word! Who did the special effects for this? To turn a shark into a semi-truck.
I'd say a few of these are 4 stories tall. With the gang all together and united, they come up with their ultimate plan. No, it's not to escape. Shut up. They're going to slap Mother Nature in the face. It's time to blow up
The tornado.
Sharknado. Grab a chainsaw, a gun, and a few bombs, and you're ready to take on an F5.
I know that a lot of these types of movies require for you to suspend your disbelief of like everything. All the science that you know, all the rationale. But man, we're gonna blow up the tornado. Whew!
In a chopper. Yeah, their plan is to fly a helicopter, one of the most flimsy aircraft which crashes at the slightest imbalance, into a tornado. And it works, barely an inconvenience. When it comes to a Sharknado, the only thing to worry about is the sharks. So there you go. Sharknado ends with our gang blowing up the Sharknado. Sure glad that situation is over and in no way can be replicated again.
It becomes an actual weather phenomenon.
Sharknado 2 is Smash Bros. For B-list celebrities. We all know the original was a phenomenon when it came out. This was the general public's first real exposure to so bad it's good films.
Oh no! Birdemic? A movie that was literally just made for a couple to be able to bang, and then they were like, how about we turn it about a bird epidemic? With like extremely bad CG birds.
Like The Room.
Hi, doggy.
Oh.
The nation had Sharknado fever, baby, and there was no way this joke would be ran into the ground. When the second movie came around, you could tell many celebs just wanted to show up to take part in the shark shenanigans. I don't even know if any of them got paid. Maybe they did. I didn't care to research it.
Well, I'm thinking that this is how this series even got its funding. People just wanted to be in this ridiculous nonsense, and so they did. Like, that's partially why the scary movies continue to be around, right? To be able to make parodies of characters or Hollywood celebrities.
In the original, LA was destroyed, so where to put the sequel? New York, of course. Finn and his ex April are traveling east to visit his sister. I guess they're just together again. Apparently, Finn is credited with being the savior of LA for stopping the Sharknado.
What
Okay.
you did was just incredible. You're a hero.
I mean, I guess Finn did a few cool things, but I wouldn't call him the savior of LA. Despite all the fame and glory, Finn is still getting that shark PTSD. So much so, he starts seeing visions of sharks outside the plane window.
There's a gremlin destroying the plane!
No, why should I believe you when you're
Why should I
literally
believe you?
Hitler?
You're Hitler!
You can tell it's
Yeah.
really getting to him. Oh, what's that? Those aren't visions? Those sharks are real?
Of
Oh
course.
darn. Sharknadoes are now just accepted as phenomena. This is the world we live in now. The plane goes right into a shark storm. Pilots are killed, passengers are sucked out, and as is tradition in these movies, even though the plane is falling out of the sky and decompressing, the most dangerous thing in the situation is still the sharks.
Look, waterspouts are an actual thing, okay? And they can pick up fish and lift them up in the air. Because in contrast to what the air actually has in terms of density, the water is nearly 1,000 times more. So yeah, they can lift them up and throw them out. But we're talking about like small fish, like a cod or something like that.
In fact, this air marshal doesn't stop April from falling out of the plane. He instead does this. Yes. No. The shark was the most urgent matter to attend to. Finn single-handedly lands a 747.
Another happy landing.
He gives interviews with the police, and then his wife is taken to the hospital, in that order, which I found absolutely hilarious. What do you know, another hurricane has arrived. Somehow, there is a massive Arctic blast coming in from the north, and a hurricane coming in from the south. A hurricane that, according to this world, did just suddenly form out of nowhere.
Let me guess. We're going to turn this into Avatar: The Last Airbender. They're going to combine the elements and fish. No freaking way. Okay, I'm in.
I was originally joking that weather just appears and disappears in this world, but that's just the lore now. Storms will form out of nothing, and they will bring sharks, but a little hurricane is nothing to stop the Mets.
Yeah, the Mets, baby, the Mets. All right, baby, let's go get a home run, baby, love the Mets.
As while this threat is in the distance, baseball just keeps on going. Finn runs into his ex, Vivica Fox, and apparently she is now the other love interest for Finn. Like half of their dynamic is just talking about why their old relationship failed. She's fine for the most part, other than when she kisses an underage minor. Imagine if a middle-aged man kissed a girl like that. Things are going great until the sharks arrive. Man, that must have been a really bad cold front. Those trees have no leaves at all. It almost looks like winter. As most sequels are, this is just the first movie but in a different location. Although, there are some key major differences.
Oh, in the least they copied the Cloverfield thing, just like that movie, they ripped off the Statue of Liberty's head.
For one, Finn himself. Finn in the original was just kind of a guy. Like, he used a chainsaw, sure, but for the most part, he was just the guy with ideas. In the sequel, they took this standard dad and made him a super shark-slaying god.
Yeah!
So much so, the city relies on him and him alone to bring down a tornado. The way weather is talked about in these films isn't like it's a natural occurrence that you need to take shelter from. Tornadoes in this world are enemies that can and should be destroyed.
One, fish can carry a grudge, okay? They're vitriolic. The tornadoes as well. Second,
tornadoes in this world are enemies that can...
What did he shoot with?
Oh!
What the hell is wrong with these movies?
...should be destroyed. And the only guy who can do that is Finn.
Proportions, Matt. If they are not stopped, we could be talking about unprecedented devastation.
What do you mean, stopped? We've reached the climax and 3 Sharknadoes have converged onto the Empire State Building.
No!
By the end, the tornado is blown up, Vivica Fox is just torn in half, and it's never talked about again.
They were holding the cables with their own hands. Hold on. Our protagonists have ascended to godhood, okay? These are not normal people, these are X-Men.
Our hero successfully wrangles a shark in midair and makes a safe landing.
Don't say it. Jump the shark.
But sharks are still falling to the streets below. So what are the people of New York to do? Brutally massacre them, of course. The end of this film can only be described as just a slaughter of sea life.
What?
I love that even though these sharks are falling and certainly not surviving these landings, everyone's first thought is to go to their vehicles, collect various weapons, and massacre the fish in midair. I get that these are monster sharks that kill for the fun of it, but I can't help but think about how hilarious it would be if these were regular sharks. Like, what if these were just innocent sea animals that didn't ask to be picked up by a freak storm, and now the occupants of the Big Apple are all happily butchering them?
Yo, fuck you, Lenny! God damn it, Shark Tales, I missed that movie.
In the streets. Hell, even the news takes part. This is only the second most vile thing Matt Lauer has done. Sharknado 2 is a far more competent film that leans into the goofiness that is mass shark mayhem. But there are just so many celebrity cameos that it genuinely brings this movie down.
I noticed that one dude there in the bottom. While the shark were falling on the other guys, he was definitely like,
competent film that leans...
Look at that! That is literally what he said.
Film that leans into the goofiness that is mass shark mayhem. But there are just so many celebrity cameos that it genuinely brings this movie down. Like, I get a lot of people like the original, but it gets to a point that you dread what next familiar face is gonna show up. It's like a jump scare. You think you're watching a movie and then suddenly, Jared from Subway.
You should really be eating fresh too, you know.
The original P. Diddy. Instead of baby oil, he did it with sauce. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Whew.
Sharknado 3 is White House down, but with fish.
God bless America.
Finn has been awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom for what he did in New York. His feats have not only made him a national icon, but a global hero. And for his newfound glory, he's gifted a golden chainsaw, his Excalibur, if you will. Because of his status, he's now hanging out with President Mark Cuban. No amount of praise at the end of the day will matter, though, because the sharks are back. Finn can sense it.
I can sense these storms now. The drop in temperature, the humidity, these crazy cloud formations.
That's called looking at the sky. That's not another sense, buddy. You're just using the one you already have. Tornadoes form, sharks are in it, and they're slamming into everything. So what's the logical thing to do? Team up with the president, of course. Finn and Mark Cuban.
No way! Yo, Marky, you threw a grenade at a shark who caught it in his mouth and it exploded. And just standing there with a stoic attitude. I'm just gonna consume this slop. Yo, listen, okay? I get it. I too like it when I'm doing some shenanigans with my friends, producing stuff that makes zero sense but is only just like an inside joke. But when it's something that you have to show to the rest of the world, are we not supposed to be following something here? How insane is this?
Cuban are just posing for the camera, pot-shotting aquatic life that's... Finn and Mark Cuban are just posing for the camera, pot-shotting aquatic life that's falling into the White House. Turns out the storm this time is bigger than just DC. It's the size of the entire East Coast.
Jump the shark.
From Maine to Florida. Speaking of Florida, that's where we're going to spend most of our time for the next hour. And when I mean Florida, I actually mean Universal Studios in Orlando. You see, Finn's daughter is having a birthday, and to celebrate, the gang all goes to Universal Studios in Orlando.
Advertisement.
And that isn't a joke. There is just a solid 2-minute montage of all the attractions you can see at Universal Studios.
Islands of Adventure. Live the adventure.
Am I saying Universal Studios too much? It's okay, they do too. I don't know, maybe I'm just jealous they get to ride the Fast and Furious ride, and I can't. One thing I love about this series is with each movie, the product placement just gets worse. They wear their sponsors on their sleeve, slapped it right on like a race car, which are also at Universal Studios, which the gang steals.
The pants of Jared Fogle of Subway.
By eating fresh at Subway, I'm making better habits. My pants!
I want to also mention that our nation's capital gets destroyed, while Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket remains standing firm. Sharknado 3 has the strangest hodgepodge of characters I have ever seen in a film. Neo, Penn and Teller.
Christopher Judge was in there.
The entire crew from Today, and Coulter as the vice president, and yes...
That racist bitch! No! No! She's gonna... She's gonna throw her xenophobia at the sharks.
She does surf down a flight of stairs, and what star-studded cast would ever be complete without Anthony Weiner, former United States representative and convicted sex offender?
Literally in the name.
What I'm saying here is I wouldn't have this roster any other way, and I hope it only gets more chaotic. Anyway, Finn has to make his way down south to save his wife and kids. On the way, he runs into a mysterious figure. Who could it be?
Nova?
What a blast from the past. And just like Finn, she's changed, going from an average waitress to Sarah Connor against all of Sharkkind. And Frankie Muniz is here too, but he doesn't last long. The basic rule is if a celebrity has a cameo, they're gonna die horrifically to a shark. And that's just the rules, I don't make it. They take a jet, because both can fly a jet now, taking down a Sharknado and saving a game of NASCAR along the way.
Well, at least it wasn't a helicopter this time.
After landing at Universal and reuniting with family, Finn and the gang successfully survive and fight off the Sharknadoes before getting stuck within that giant globe thing. It was quite the journey, but they've lived to save another day, and Sharknado 3 comes to an end.
Nonsense. Oh?
Yeah, we're only halfway through the movie, and it might as well be a new movie now because we're going to space. Finn's dad has been...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
I know that he has already covered the Transformers series, right? But how in the world has this already topped Transformers? It took Fast and Furious 10 movies, an insane budget to get out of the stratosphere with their cars, to be able to strap rockets onto their vehicles. These guys were just like, third iteration, bruv. We're going straight to Mars. We're gonna take this one to the moon.
And Hasselhoff the entire time, and only he knows how to take down the giant East Coast storm. It's like the bomb and a tornado, but on a far bigger scale. Both of them go to space. Hasselhoff sacrifices himself to shoot a giant space laser at the storm, which destroys it, but sends sharks out into space.
Hell yeah.
No! No!
So the space sharks destroy the shuttle because of course they do, and the only option our heroes have left is to hide inside one and ride it all the way back down to Earth.
You mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
What the fuck is this?
I took offense to that.
Why have I not seen these movies? Oh my word! Id Software, listen, I have but one humble request from you. I know that you're almost done with Doom Dark Ages, and that thing will be releasing soon, and we will all be enjoying it, but could you perhaps spare in your schedule some space to make a Sharknado game, please? Because this stuff is bloody insane!
Upon landing, this happens. And no, I'm not explaining what you're seeing right now, because it's a lot funnier if I don't. I don't know if my standards have just been destroyed, but dare I say, I actually enjoyed the third one. Not even in an ironic way, I think. This has been going on for so long that sharks have now adapted to living in the sky.
But Sharknado sharks, they eat something that regular sharks don't. Birds.
They eat birds now. These people are straight up at war with nature. That's not how biology works.
there's such thing called selection pressure that makes it so that biomechanisms end up adapting, that you evolve to do something, and that happens over thousands of years.
Don't mind him, his brain is fried.
They eat birds so you can fly. So the chicken nuggets that you keep on eating at McDonald's should technically be giving you wings. That's why McDonald's should have taken the branding of Red Bull. Where's the logic? I know that I said that would turn my mind off, but I am getting worried here. For the people who make this. Oh
By
my
this
God.
point, maybe bombs would work. How do we know? Has anyone ever tried to blow up a tornado? I've never seen it. I'm 3 movies in and I'm forgetting what science is.
Oh no! What the hell was with the baby? Please, somebody provide context.
Sharknado 4, The Fourth Awakens. Woo! Pop culture references.
May the force be with you.
It was only a matter of time.
Oh no.
Seriously, Colonel? Star Wars?
Trek.
Huh?
It's been 5 years since the last shark attack, thanks to this universe's equivalent of SpaceX developing 5G towers called astropods. Astropods can destroy Sharknados. Just like Yu-Gi-Oh!,
SpaceX.
society has now entirely shifted around this minor thing, and the Kaiba of this world is Aston Reynolds. April is dead. Probably should have mentioned that in the last one. But Finn is living on. You know, he's good. He's living in Kansas now with his 5-year-old son. Yes, the shark baby. And you'll never guess what Finn named his kid.
I think I'd like to name him after my dad.
Gilbert.
Gil.
Gil. I love it. Finn is off to Vegas to meet up with his son, who just got out of the army. His son looks exactly like he did in the first movie, what are you talking about? And to celebrate getting married, like 5 seconds ago, they jump out of a plane to meet Finn. This was poor timing though, because in the first time in years, a Sharknado appears. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. It's a dust devil that slams into the shark-themed hotel that then explodes, and now sharks are everywhere. Man, only in Vegas, am I right? And if you thought that joke was dumb, that's the same joke they make every 10 seconds.
Viva Las Vegas.
The streets flood, and our heroes have to ride that pirate ship that's in front of the casino. You know the one I'm talking about.
No. No.
Turns out that the SpaceX, I'm sorry, AstroX towers no longer work because nature finds a way.
I'm sorry, I know that I said id Software before, but like this sounds like something that Platinum Game would do. The ones who made Revengeance. Yo, just slap whatever into this. Yo, keep on adding elements. A twister, a hurricane. Next thing we're gonna have is what? Lava sharks? Yeah, erupt a volcano. It's gonna... I don't even know, man. If the sharks can survive entering the atmosphere, then surely they can survive lava.
The weather has adapted to finding new and creative ways of spawning Sharknados, and just to raise the stakes, they're all over the United States. It turns out that April actually didn't die and was alive the entire time. I know you were worried. She was rebuilt by Gary Busey.
I'm not gonna open the door for you, you stay in here!
Yes, I did say rebuilt. She's a cyborg now.
All that because the plot required her to lose an arm in the second... Wow. It actually has continuity. Stupid has continuity, but continuity nonetheless.
And there's just nothing stranger than seeing these characters who 3 movies ago were just people who couldn't even say their lines, transform before our eyes into super-powered slayers. Shark slaying is now just in the blood of Finn's family. It's what they pride themselves on.
Finn Shepard, welcome to the family.
Anyway, the gang gets chased by a tornado all the way to Texas, where the town riles up to fight a twister that's now a fire type, a Firenado. And this is just how the rest of the movie is. Each new tornado has some special gimmick where they only absorb one specific thing and mix it with sharks.
I saw what looked like an actual nuclear power plant. Don't tell me we're going to have radioactive tornado here. I mean, what's stopping them?
It's like alchemy, using the elements, but with sharks. Speaking of bringing the dead back to life, the Today Show has returned, even though they were killed off in the last movie. Before I started this marathon, I never really could have predicted that a mainstay in the Sharknado universe was Al Roker.
You pooped in your pants.
I pooped my pants.
Natalie Morales is going through her punish arc now, but to make up for the loss of their dead comrades, the Today Show has added a new member to the team.
Matt Lauer.
I'm proud to be joining the Today Show.
Oh.
I mean, what am I even supposed to say? We got Hasselhoff, we got Gary Busey, and now Gilbert Gottfried.
He's perfect for this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Today's Show correspondent, Ron McDonald. A tornado hit a nuclear power plant in Ohio, combining into a radioactive Sharknado. The only way to bring down the spinning cancer cloud is to use a mech suit that was built and tested by Hasselhoff himself, who sadly gets ate in the finale. RIP. When watching all of these back to back, you realize a lot of people die. Like Finn's son's wife dies. Like, I get the concept is funny and all, but imagine actually living in this world. Any one of your friends and family will just die to a shark. By this point, society as a whole just hates sharks.
Just kill them all. Just kill them all. Shoot. Bang.
The only good
Shark.
is a dead
Shark.
Where do these sharks even keep coming from? Are there even that many sharks in the world? I don't know, but they've killed millions. Finn has a mech suit now to purge the Xenos, and his wife is Iron Man. They suck the radioactive energy out of the tornado, I guess, and that allows Astro X to blow it away.
Oh my
we
god,
did it,
the
gang.
fucking dreadnought.
We saved the day. No. No, it can't be. Finn can't be dead. It can't end like this. Seriously, it can't end like this. We got like 2 more movies. Don't tell me he was ate by a shark, which was then ate by a shark, which ate another shark, which got ate by a whale. Hey, that's...
No, what in the cartoon bullshit? Oh my god.
That doesn't count. He's cut out by Gil, who uses a plastic little chainsaw. Finn is saved, the day is saved, and the threat has finally been defeated, until the Eiffel Tower flies out of the sky. Guess what that means?
Oh, we're going abroad now. It's getting international.
Global swarming is, well, Sharknado 5 global swarming. There is truly nothing I can compare this movie to. It can only be described as its own genre, that genre being the 5th movie in the Sharknado series. The tagline for this movie is "Make America Bait Again." The one film they make this joke for, and it's the one that isn't set in America at all. I'm going to rip off this band-aid right away. There is a shark god. A god of the sharks. That's the cause of all of this. And apparently he's been angry before. Nova and Finn discover ruins under Stonehenge. They tell of ancients doing battle with sharks. This is officially the lore of the Monsterverse.
See, I know that often when people come to this channel, they expect some great insight in the reactions and the commentary that can give in my reactions, right? I am literally at a loss of words. I don't know what to say about this anymore. They have included all of the elements from every movie right into one cluster fuck. Now it's the Monsterverse. Are we gonna meet... Oh, we already have radioactive sharks. What's the next thing? King Ghidorah, but a shark version? I mean, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
The way the ancients defeated these flying fish was with a giant shark tooth that conveniently resembles a chunk of plastic. Like Mr. Bones here. They just dropped the skeleton straight from Spirit Halloween.
This is not my style.
The sad news is the references are here to stay, and they're only going to get worse.
Wow. The bridge is falling down!
They steal the artifact and incur the wrath of the shark god. That's the plot for the whole film. There is an angry shark god that kidnaps Finn's son and just keeps spinning him all over the place.
The radar locked onto his suit's tracking device. Right now he's in a wind system at 500 miles per hour towards Holland.
The only solution now is to be like Kratos and kill a deity. By this point, Finn has regressed to being nothing but a stereotypical action hero badass, which I absolutely love. I'm all for that archetype. Groovy. What isn't as cool is when they keep repeating the same song to let you know that he's doing a badass thing. Nothing cooler than that. Nova isn't even Sarah Connor anymore. She's now the elite head of a sisterhood of shark assassins.
From dreadnoughts to Sisters of Battle. Do we have a 40k fan working on this movie?
Assassins against sharks, not sharks that are assassins. I don't even know why I really explained that, because they're nothing but a group of porn models that can't act. The tornadoes are back, but now they have this purple center, which lets you know that the spinning cloud can think and is alive. It knows what it is doing, and its first form of action is to take out the queen. Alright, so if you can forgive me, I'm going to periodically break up this tale with little anecdotes along the way. There's just only so much my mind can take from retelling these films. I haven't talked about them, but the opening credits are probably the best parts of these films. Each one has a different style, and actually improves its quality with every sequel. Wow. Something I can't really say about the movies themselves. So if you're an animator that worked on the credits for any of the Sharknado movies, I just want to let you know, I appreciate what you did. I hope Asylum let you out of that basement. My favorite thing about all of these intros is they use the same exact song, because Sharknado has a theme song. Now, at first I thought this was a little annoying, maybe something you'd hear during a Scooby-Doo chase scene. But then with each movie, the song repeated, and it just became a constant across my Sharknado journey.
Go, go, go! Run away from the Sharknado!
Back to the plot. How do you take out a supernatural shark deity bent on global destruction? I have an idea. Let's ask NATO. I knew it. I knew Putin was behind it all. I can't help but find it charming how this is supposed to be some high-end NATO meeting, and yet it's taking place in this cramped little room where the flags were just taped up at the last minute. It looks like the rundown apartment of a history nerd. London falls to the sharks.
I'll be safe in the water. You can't catch me!
But our heroes are luckily able to escape by taking Geraldo Rivera's blimp. Yeah, we're continuing that proud Sharknado tradition of having the most baffling cameos ever.
Why is it always like politicians who do some very questionable things? He's the dude who took the selfie of himself naked, right? To show his amazing dad bod. And from Wiener to him, it keeps getting better.
They even do this joke.
The vault is empty.
I swear there was something inside.
Which is only funny if you knew about the vault incident of 86.
Yes.
A moment that I guarantee a majority of people under 40 have not heard of.
I know.
Which is fine because they are not this movie's main demographic at all.
Oh my god, I just killed Brett Michaels!
As the series has gone on, it has only gotten progressively more Gen X. Like the current state of Facebook, Gen X. Every cameo is a celebrity who's a tad past their prime, but is still familiar enough for your parents to get a kick out of seeing them. For a movie that came out in 2017, Sharknado 5 feels aggressively 2002. I don't know if it's just the numerous references to 80s media.
Don't get better than this.
Or perhaps this scene where they have to snowboard away from a tornado. It's probably just my age, but there will be people that show up that I just have no clue who they are. It's like an inside joke that everyone gets, except you. The problem with reviewing these movies is that there's just so many little things that show up.
Now back home, we're trying to make America great again.
This video can only show you a select slice. To get the full experience, you have to suffer through 6 movies just like I did. Now it's been already however long this video is, and I'm imagining that this is already a lot to take in. Even if this stuff is incredibly funny to you, sometimes it's too much. I'm saying that because we get to the finale. Our gang has been transported to Sydney, Australia. That because we get to the finale.
So, I don't think that when the Danish architect who designed the opera house was doing it, that he was intending for it to become a battle station.
Our gang has been transported to Sydney, Australia, where they have to use the Sydney Opera House as a battle station. Isn't this funny? Isn't it comedic? In the end, they defeat the tornado, the day is saved, and the movie is over. Guess we're reusing jokes because that was a joke. But Cody, you say, how can this only be the halfway point? We have the Opera House transformed to shoot lasers at a tornado, while Tony Hawk kickflips up its roof to unjam its shields. Call me an old fogey, but to me, that felt like a finale. By the 5th one, you really start seeing a pattern in the structure. And I'm not talking about the other recurring things like the Today Show or Xfinity. What I'm talking about is these movies having the strangest pacing I've ever seen. Most movies traditionally have a 3-act structure.
Yeah.
This movie has a 3-act structure for the first half of the film, and then we go even further into the 4th act, where the plot half resolves itself and introduces new things for the real finale, which is even bigger and stupider, making the halfway finale look like a bitch. Here's a fun quiz. If radioactive goo gets absorbed into a pod of sharks right off the coast of Japan, what common trope or joke do you think Sharknado 5 will do?
I was waiting for it when we mentioned the Monsterverse. Here we go.
Did you say Sharkzilla? It's Sharkzilla. It was at this point in the film, while watching it with my wife, that she looked at me, said, "This is stupid," and then walked out of the room. Which is quite the shame, because she missed this girl trying to catch the Sharkzilla with a Pokeball grenade. Nova sacrifices herself to kill Godzilla. Yeah, she dies, despite some pretty minor superficial injuries. Hey, Nova, I think you just scraped your knee. Like, you can get up. Oh, okay, you're dying? Alright, I'll leave you to that. As all globe-trotting adventures do, our showdown concludes in Egypt. They're supposed to, turn on this mysterious machine that can...
It's the Shark God Dio. Is it going to be some blonde dude with ripped abs with a slight homosexual undertone that's going to come out and be like, it is I, the Shark God.
Defeat the Shark God. It doesn't work. Everyone dies. That's the end of Sharknado 5. The world is just now over.
Is anybody out there?
This is like I Am Legend, except Will Smith keeps bouncing back between Moscow and the West Coast for no reason. But wait, there's a mysterious stranger.
Hi, Dad.
No! 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 Dolph, please, please, please. You have PhDs, you have acolytes, you have... This would be the equivalent of having Neil deGrasse Tyson in freaking Moonfall. I don't accept this. Dude, please, leave. I know that you've made He-Man. Don't be in this movie. Dolph, no! You're a scientist, my dude. Oh, no.
Dolph Lundgren is his son from the future. Dolph Lundgren is Trunks. Just like Infinity War, the solution is at the end of the day, fuck it, this is about time travel now. I was going to make a joke about the series jumping the shark, but they made that joke back in Sharknado 2, so I legally cannot say it.
Jump the shark.
If you've stuck around until now, I'm proud of you. I get this is a lot to tolerate, and honestly in this format, it's probably worse. But trust me, the gauntlet is almost over, and with one movie left, it's coming to an end. The last Sharknado, It's About Time, is Bill and Ted, but with sharks. Maybe a little bit of Back to the Future sprinkled in there too. But what this movie mostly is bad. After 5's unforgettable ending, I was hyped. I was ready.
Did they really do that reference? I'm melting up. Oh no. I know that the movie's lazy, but not that lazy.
Ready for Finn and Dolph Lundgren time-traveling adventures. I wanted to see them team up to defeat the ultimate Sharknado threat. And then the movie opens.
Hi, Dad. Sorry I couldn't join you. Traveling through time is complicated.
Oh, I see. Time travel rules. Those pesky time travel rules. What a bold creative decision. Tease Dolph at the end of the last movie, and then pay it off by just not having him in the next one.
Of course, thank God. I was about to say, like, how the hell did he want to spend time in there? Like, I know that he would have made for a fun flick, just like two old buff dudes just doing some fun stuff. I guess he was in his late 50s here, and Dolph Lundgren is like 70, so yeah. I could see that. They did that in Expendables, so that's an image for you of what that would look like. Well, Expendables and its sequels, but whew, am I happy that he's not featured in there.
They could only afford him for this one scene, and that was it. It's like if in some end credits scene, Ryan Gosling showed up playing the highly anticipated character Glup Shido, and then they just never mention him again. Actually, I take that back, that would be hilarious. Then is 65 million years in the past, so we have dinosaurs, and Megalodon. But he's not alone, as it turns out Gil went back in time and saved a lot of people who died in the last movies, bringing them to Dinosaur Island. It's just people that wanted to be in this series one more time. So we got Nova, and April, and Vivica Fox, and who could forget this guy who was at the Mets game in Sharknado 2. He's so funny, he doesn't get annoying at all.
Is there any place to get a taco around here or anything?
Using future tech shenanigans, Finn can only travel forward in time after hitting a certain speed. Can you guess what that speed is?
180 miles per hour.
Velocity of 88 miles per hour.
That isn't even the only Back to the Future reference. I'm pretty sure they bring it up like 5 times. And yes, that also includes all those weird parts with the incest.
Well, sometimes you're here.
He had to bring his bestie from Beverly Hills. Of course he had to. By the way, no, Brenda's dead. I don't know, that's fucking sad. The actress who played Brenda died this year.
That also includes all those weird parts with the incest.
Well, sometimes you're here, sometimes you're there, sometimes you're stuck in 1955 and your mom's trying to make out.
I didn't ever want to know that Finn's mom might be attracted to him. This whole film is just jumping forward in time to stop the Sharknadoes from happening in the first place. So our gang shows up to a spot, they fight a Sharknado with time-accurate weaponry, and then all of the NPCs thank our heroes by sending them forward to the next level, like Spyro 3. The movie makes every joke imaginable about the medieval age, and then they meet Merlin.
Merlin, allow me to introduce
Sir Gil Shepherd's parents.
Merlin's most...
I can't! I jinxed it. I'm sorry. I jinxed it. I shouldn't have said a word. I could have gone with a good conscience knowing that this would never happen, but it freaking happened. I'm getting more frustrated about this movie because this is insulting on so many levels.
Magical trick is being insufferable on Twitter. They go to the American Revolution. They stop a Sharknado from destroying the founding fathers, like Benjamin Franklin.
This is General George Washington, not some delivery service for tea and crumpet.
Oh no, Sharknado set designers. That isn't the flag you think it is. So quick history lesson. This is the flag of the 13 colonies. The one used in the Revolution, and the one I'm assuming the prop department intended to use.
Yep.
This is the original flag of
the Stars and Bars
Confederate States of America, also commonly known as the Stars and Bars. Which flag do you think Sharknado 6 used? Oh my, we're suddenly in a different type of revolution. They reach the Old West, where Finn meets up with his son.
Tried that already. No use.
Good thing that he didn't bring his son's wife along with him.
Radioactive exploding sharks? Fine. Weather that can be defeated by explosions? Makes sense. This guy, growing up to one day be Dolph Lundgren, I have some doubts. I'm sure he's a nice guy. It's just I can't imagine him growing up to beat Apollo Creed to death for the glory of Russia. It was here that I started to notice that every single location they went to just happened to be during winter. Like, there's always snow on the ground, and the trees are dead.
Everything was filmed in February.
The whole film just looks gray and monotonous. We're traveling across time and space to the same overcast backlots. The only place this actually works in is the future. I'm skipping a lot of the details about the plot, but trust me, you're not missing much. All you have to know is that our gang is kind of bummed because they think they can only go forward in time. And it's kind of like, oh no, you know, they're trapped. But then the plot resolves itself exactly like that one episode of SpongeBob where Squidward goes to the future and he's like, oh no, I'm stuck in the future. But then all the SpongeBob clones say he can use their time machine because it's the future. Of course they have that stuff. Loser. So using that time machine, our gang goes back to where it all began. The start of the first movie, on that one ship that you probably forgot about until now.
It had plot relevance? You are shitting me right now.
Thought it was all for nothing, but he's back. It's Captain Carlos Santiago, and by teaming up with him, our gang officially destroys the first Sharknado before it can ever cause any more damage.
Well, he still dies.
I guess that somehow prevented all the others from happening. That was not established. What's important is Finn's bar is never destroyed.
Wait, was the whole plot about the guard? Destroying the first thing prevented from manifesting? Is that like killing Moses from stopping the Bible to spread, or what the fuck?
Time has essentially reset.
Poor baby.
Poor baby?
Yeah, I really love sharks.
To sign us all off, who else but Al Roper to inform us that the weather is looking great and no bad weather is going to happen ever again.
Well, damn.
It was a long and arduous journey, but for like the 5 people still watching, we did it. Sharknado is
Yes, we
dead.
did it.
Alright, let's rank them. Time to do a little magic trick. Bing bang boom, get out of my room. See, I had a floor the entire time. As you might have assumed, these movies are very difficult to rank on a 1 to 10 scale. Can't really compare them with anything else, except for each other. So, let's just do that. Let's rank them from worst to best. Starting at the bottom, it's The Last Sharknado.
Of course, yeah.
It's about time. That title is the funniest joke in the entire movie. While the ending wraps up the series in a fitting bow, granted one full of plot holes and inconsistencies, it still wraps it up nonetheless. The rest of the movie is just a slog. It all just feels played out at this point. Not even the B-list celebrities show up anymore.
Who needs science when you have a dragon?
The only cameos we have now are just people doing unfunny stand-up.
Our cannons!
In 5th place is Sharknado 2. While the last movie had nobody show up, this movie has the exact opposite problem, where there are just too many celebrity cameos. It's just so jarring going from a cheesy, so bad it's good movie with unknown actors to this hodgepodge of every celeb who has nothing better to do. Loses a bit of that amateurish charm that made the original funny to laugh at. Not much to really say about this one outside of Cyborg April. During the 4th, they really lean into this comedic action style and just start throwing everything at the wall. Tornadoes can now take on different elements. There was this world building that started to be established for some reason, and technology had only progressed specifically to fight sharks. Right. All of the movies from 4 onward are basically just glorified glorified traveling adventures, and I think the fourth one did the concept the best. In third place is the original Sharknado, made with the budget of shoestring and belly button lint. It established all of the mistakes and tropes that caused the people in 2013 to absolutely lose their shit. The comedy from this is all because of how unintentionally funny it is. And runner-up is Sharknado 3, Oh Hell No. This is the most bizarre of all of the movies. Sure, the sixth one had time travel, and the second one has that.
It's
but
the Mets,
the third one
baby,
just doesn't feel like a real movie. It's like it was written by AI. It combines so many things, regardless of if they fit or not. And
look. You cannot beat them going to space to try to kill a freaking shark. In the trilogy, when you do that, it's like peak, okay? You've reached where you're supposed to be, and no more.
And who could forget the Universal Studios arc? I think this film perfectly exemplifies what Sharknado stands for, using people that should never cameo in anything, along with blatant advertising.
Remember, if you need anything else here at Universal Orlando, just ask for bags.
It does all of the most cardinal sins boldly and proudly, which brings us to number 1, Sharknado 5.
Oh.
It really was a toss-up between 3 or 5.
Okay.
I think this scene alone is what made the movie for me. All of this is really subjective. Which Sharknado is best comes down to what you find absurdly stupid and how much nonsense you can tolerate.
God bless America.
So there you go. That's the Sharknado series. After all of this, the main question really is just why? Why is this a thing?
Fucking
Who can
Highlander.
we blame for all of this? Who would come up with the idea of sharks and tornadoes and then proceed to write 6 movies about that? Thunder Levin. The man who wrote the Sharknado series is named Thunder Levin. And no, that's not a stage name, that's real, I looked it up. In an interview he said it was because he was born during a thunderstorm. This man was destined from birth.
Wow. It's like Nikola Tesla writing the character of Electro. I was a misunderstood nerd until the lightning struck me and I fell into a vat full of eels.
To give us these movies. So thank you, Thunder Levin. Thank you for blessing us with this world of sharks and tornadoes, and for making me absolutely lose my mind making this video, telling the whole internet about it.
This is the most insane movie franchise that I've ever encountered. Thank you, Cody, for exposing me to this. And now I'm going to have to rinse my eyes because, god bloody damn it. This was a ride. Not one from Universal, but definitely a ride. Man. The insanity.